Mickey 17, the newest movie. Let's talk about it. Mickey 17 is the newest movie out on the big screen for you guys to go and check out. Now, this movie was on my top 10 most anticipated films. I was so excited for this movie. One, I love Robert Pattinson. I think he's just absolutely sensational. So when he was the lead, I'm signed up straight away. Two, the trailers looked absolutely fantastic. And three, it looked very unique in its concepts. So I sat down and I watched it. And it did not disappoint me, man. I'll tell you that. It did not disappoint me. Now, I don't think this movie is going to be for everyone. I can see people not liking this film. I can see it. I feel like this is a film that is an acquired taste. Now, it is very much wacky, out there, weird, unique. It really is. So, like, the concept is, as you see, he applies to be an expendable. It's like, basically, his job is to go out there and die so that we can get the information and, you know, experiment and stuff like that on certain things that we need in order to survive on this new planet. That's what the whole entire movie surrounds, you know, that idea and that concept. Now, firstly, Robert Pattinson. You see the range of this guy in this movie. He is unbelievable. Just the different personalities that he plays in the Mickeys, especially when you meet Mickey 17 and 18, you see the polar opposites. You really see his range because they are just completely different. It's as if the soul had been ripped into two, and one was one side of it and one was the other. And his portrayal was fantastic. He is really, really good, man. Anyone that doubts Robert Pattinson and just thinks he's Twilight Boy, watch this movie and then tell me afterwards that he is not a really good actor, because he is superb and he carries this film on his shoulders. He does. He's the main lead and he's just fantastic. And he brings this character of Mickey to life, and you are instantly attached to Mickey because of the performance, because of the character that he's brought to life. And the character of Mickey himself is very interesting because when you meet, and the reason why he wants to become an expendable and why that all occurs to where he ends up at the end of the film, it's this beautiful arc and this beautiful journey that you go on. And I really, really enjoyed it quite a lot. And that character was just, I was rooting for him the whole entire time. I wanted him to succeed. And I love that about it. And that's Robert Pattinson, who was absolutely superb. Now, I must say, Mark Ruffalo and Toni Collette in this movie, oh my word. So they are like they're these characters that are, I don't want to spoil what they are or anything like that, but those two as a duo, I never thought I would say this. They were absolutely superb as a duo. Like, I totally forgot that it was Mark Ruffalo and Toni Collette. I actually believe that these characters were real, and they were really. Mark Ruffalo is superb. The way he brings this character to life is on another level, and I think Mark Ruffalo is very underrated. I do think he's underrated. I think a lot of people just see him as like Bruce Banner and as the Hulk and that, but he has a lot of range, and you saw it in what's it called, Poor Things. You saw it in there, Poor Things. He was absolutely superb. Here he is fantastic. He plays like this villainous, you know, dictator sort of role so well. And then you have Toni Collette, who's just as like psychopathic, but she's very much like that devil on your shoulder, because they're like a couple. She's on the devil on the shoulder, and she's like basically whispering, trying to, like, you know, you should do this, you should do that. But she's really good at it, and you believe him. And that chemistry was fantastic. So it elevated it, and especially elevated towards the end of the movie as well. Now, Naomi's great as well. She's fantastic in here. She brings her character to life. Her relationship with Mickey is very key to this movie, and I really enjoyed that aspect as well. And like I said, she was superb whenever she was on screen. Steven was fantastic as well. Even though it's every time I hear him now, I just think of Mark Grayson, Invincible. I really do now. But he was fantastic. He plays like the friend, and he goes on his own little journey in here as well. And I thought that was great as well. But the sci-fi elements were great. The actual idea and concept of the expendable and creating, it's basically cloning. That's really what it is in a way. Was very unique. And look, there's a moment in here where they explain it, and I thought it was fantastic the way that they explained it, because it just makes sense with the way they explain it. I laughed and I was like, yeah, okay. That's good enough for me, man. You don't have to explain the whole freaking thing for me. That line was fantastic. That's fine. But I like that idea and concept. And I think it just elevated it. And it made me start to understand and try to question, like, okay, so how does this all work? Like, is it the one soul just coming back alive? Is it, you die and then it's just like, because they explain how it like sort of works with the memories and everything like that. So it adds like this depth to it. And it's like, is it actually the same person that's dying over and over? And it seems like that throughout. And then there's like the whole thing with the multipliers. They call them the multipliers or whatever. Multipliers, whatever they're called. In the movie, multipliers, I think they're called. And then that's when you start to question things. And I thought they handled that really well. And it elevates this movie again. Because now you're kind of like, okay, so what's going on here? And I really like that idea. Now, there is this subplot in here as well regarding aliens in here as well. And I quite like that storyline. Like, it was very different to the alien storyline that we used to. There's a really, really funny joke in there that I thought was hilarious. I know a lot of us were laughing in the theater when it happened. So I like that. And I thought the designs and the CG for them were actually quite good. It could have easily been really bad where you're like, oh, that doesn't look great. But I thought they looked quite good, and I thought they didn't look out of place. And the design, it's very interesting how they went with that design, but I like that idea. I like it. I like how it's not traditional aliens. And I like that idea because we're so used to these traditional grey aliens, sort of things like that, humanoid aliens and that. This just brought a different, unique style to them, and I was like, okay. I like that because this is something that actually probably would, if we went to another planet with like life on it, this is probably what you would find. And I like that idea of it. The story itself is rich. It's full of a lot of themes, a lot of, development, stuff about life, death. What does it feel like to die? Like, fear of it and everything like that was all in here as well. But overall, Mickey 17 was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. The comedy landed. Cinematography was fantastic as well. Performances are great all around. The characters are a lot of fun. But like I said, it is very wacky and weird, especially with that alien subplot that goes on. So I can understand why someone wouldn't like this film. I can see why it wouldn't work for everyone. It does feel like an acquired taste. I will say that. But I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm a sci-fi guy. So, I like a lot of sci-fi movies, so I really enjoyed it. But let me know what you guys thought. Maybe you didn't, and that's okay if you didn't. But I want to hear your comments, so let me know in the comment section below. Smash that like button, click subscribe, and I'll see you guys next video. Until then, stay safe, and peace out.